The following video follows the guidelines of the Fair Use Act. Overlord is property of Kugane Maruyama, Yen Press, Kadokawa, and Studio Madhouse. And all materials such as clips, still images, and characters are property of said studio's creators and are being used only for commentary and review purposes. Please support the official release. And before we continue, consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel to catch more reviews like this one. Alright, so with that, we're going to move on to Episode 2, Floor Guardians. Episode 2 introduces the other Floor Guardians of the Tomb of Nazarick, their personalities, their dynamics with each other, and rivalries, and the discovery that they are not in the same world as before. Momonga continues to figure out what does and doesn't work in this world and gets more used to his role as supreme being to the NPCs that worship the ground that he walks on. This is the most exposition-heavy episode of the entire season.
Mm-hmm. But I also say one of the more necessary exposition episodes because it's literally explaining what the fuck happened to us.
Yes, what's happened to them, the personalities of the NPCs, what their roles are. You get a good feeling within this episode, like, all right, who's the smartest, who's the tank, and so on and so forth.
Demiurge is just a shady bitch.
He is a shady bitch, but he's also fiercely loyal. His problem is that, have you ever met a person who overthinks so much that even when you actually don't mean anything, they think, oh, wait, no, this is what you mean, and this goes to this and this and this, and they are making a puzzle that isn't there.
Like they try to overanalyze everything you do and say?
That is Demiurge. That is, every time he says, I see, Momongas go, what do you see? What, I didn't do anything.
It has the same energy as, that's it, I've come up with a new recipe.
I've got it! I've come up with a new recipe!
There is Demiurge, a devil who guards the 7th floor.
He is shady AF.
Hope you wait till you guys hear about the Happy Farm.
With a name like the Happy Farm, how can you go wrong?
It sounds like a very joyful place.
Oh, yeah, you guys go there, bring your families.
I bet there's puppies and kitties and everyone gets along
And there's chocolate and candy and ice cream.
Yeah, it's a good time. You know, bring your friends, bring your families. You'll never want to leave. Pretty much this whole episode is that they kneel to him. He asks of them, like, what do you think of me? And they all give their whole big proclamations of, this is how great you are. And, he plays it off like, oh, most excellent. All right, on my merry way.
Yeah, we all know he's just gathering information for like, okay, how should I roleplay to them so I don't act suspicious?
Exactly. Oh, and it's actually in this one that we find out from Sebis that they're in a completely different world. And so they have to figure out, all right, how do we hide the tomb and how do we gather information?
Mm-hmm. Which I think is a very smart thing for them to do. Seems very logical.
Instead of just having them be dropped into the world of the game.
Yes, it's very, very fun. Because then we get to learn about the world with them.
Also, fucking Albedo and Shaltier having that bitch off.
And Shaltier is also just as thirsty, but even more provocative. Like, my God.
And yet dresses the more conservative.
Well, she has to in order to fill her bra. She stuffs her bra.
Oh!
Yes. But one of my favorite scenes is where Demiurge is like, although a union between one of those two could be interesting, one of them's going to marry Ainz, and Kokaitis is all, why should we do that? If we do our job, there won't be need for such a thing. Well, then we can pledge our loyalty to a line. And Kokaitis is like, oh, that'd be wonderful. I could be Uncle Kokaitis.
Yeah.
As much as I love Kokaitis, because I would be just as excited, he's a bone. He's literally a bone.
He's literally a skeleton.
He can't procreate.
Ironically cannot get a boner.
Right?
Then Albedo and Sheltier start fighting about, we're fighting over who gets to be head wife, because obviously someone so amazing would have a harem, but only one of us can be his number one bride.
I was going to say, I wish I could combat the line, every good king has a harem, but if you look back at world history, they're not wrong.
It's just he literally can't.
Yeah.
You're reaching down a dry well there, ladies.
Whatever keeps him happy, I guess.
But yeah, this is pretty much the episode. It's just, we meet the Floor Guardians. Ainz, he's like, okay, let's see, I can't use a sword still unless I change into this kick-ass armor.
Because my class doesn't allow it, because, there's rules like that.
Like, I was digging the whole Black Knight aesthetic. I thought it looked really cool.
With the side cape.
Yeah, with like the Roman Captain Marvel style side cape, or Shazam side cape, whatever they decide to call him. You know what I mean?
I think they've settled on Shazam now.
Yeah, it's essentially Shazam, but I've always known him as Captain Marvel. It's tough to get used to.
I know.
Seeing the sky, and it's like, oh, they glitter like jewels. And he makes the offhand comment,
maybe I should take over the world.
Who am I kidding? We'll never pull that off.
Demiurge is right there.
Because remember, the twist is he and his guild decided to play the bad guys and own up to it, which is a subversion of the isekai trope that I didn't think I would like, but it kind of grew on me.
The funniest thing is that he completely forgets he says this. But Demiurge has not forgotten at all.
I imagine later when Demiurge brings up the world conquest thing, he'd be like, Demiurge, what the fuck, man?
Uh-oh. There's a lot of Demiurge, what the fuck, man. But unfortunately because Momonga, the character he's playing is smart, he is dumb. So he has to put a lot of trust in Demiurge and Albedo for the strategy in politics.
Well, I mean, his own technical ability isn't that bad. I mean, he's the one that suggested taking a survey of the area, being careful, and laying out the groundwork for the plan that helps conceal the place.
He is smart, but at the same time, he's so afraid of disappointing the NPCs that even if he himself doesn't agree, he just wants to make them happy because he sees them as his friend's children that he's taking care of.
It's like being asked to watch your friend's dogs. Like, you don't want to do anything bad.
What's a fun thing that as we go throughout the series, and it's pretty obvious even in here, there is a sense of abandonment issues with the NPCs and with Momonga. They both do not want to disappoint each other or make the other abandon the other. Because the NPCs are afraid that he'll join the other supreme beings because they don't know where they went. They don't know that they're NPCs in a video game. They just assume they went to like the great beyond. And he doesn't want them to turn coat on him if he doesn't live up to their expectations. It's sad.
Because they're all scary and ridiculously powerful.
And a lot of them are just straight up evil.
Demiurge.
Albedo. Neuronist. Only those who've seen the show will know what I'm talking about. Beware the Q-tip of doom.
What?
Oh, yeah, you know. I'm saying nothing.
Iris, I'm scared.
You're reveling being on this side of the secrets, aren't you?
It's nice.
I mean, she's hardly ever on this side, so let's let her have her fun.
Yeah. Very, very exposition heavy. I like the relationships between the characters. It's all pretty hunky-dory so far.
Yeah.
Speaking about the exposition thing, I talked about this before back in our Garo video, about how I prefer it when things are a bit more fastly paced, but not when it's like breakneck and you can't tell what's happening. Like, as good as the character interactions have been and as genuinely good the writing has been, the exposition is such a slog. This is the opposite end of the coin. Like, I understand you need time to build up your world, but after a while, it just got old.
Trust me, Bowtie, it could be worse.
It could be Inuyasha.
As much as I love you, Inuyasha.
Like, I'm aware it could be worse, but I felt it, is all I'm saying.
Okay, so you guys ready to move on to episode 3?
Yeah.
Episode 3.
All right, episode 3, The Battle of Karn Village. Driven by the memories and lessons of an old friend, Momonga teleports to a village called Karn Village that is being put under attack by men in armor. After saving the village, he learns more about the world he's in and meets with Chief Warrior Gazif Stronov. Though not all is at peace as more soldiers gather around Karn Village, with no doubt ill intentions and a possible trap for the warrior that nobles of his own and other countries seek to remove him out of the picture for good. This is where things start to pick up a little bit, but there's still exposition, because now we get to actually know about the world. We're getting names of places.
We're getting world politics.
We're getting world politics.
It's Game of Thrones up in here.
But, it's then located in this episode. You don't hear them really have to explain much about these kingdoms again until they interact with them more. And even then, it's not that big.
I was about to say, I think my favorite thing about this episode so far is just the character work that's done with Momongo. Is that it, Momongo? Momonga, right. It's just the character work that's done with Momonga, with like how, despite creating a villain guild and despite, he and his guild members saying they think we're the bad guys, let's act like the bad guys, he still wants to do good and he still wants to help people and help the downtrodden, which completely blindsided me because I wasn't expecting that. Like, because when you look at Overlord purely aesthetically, you think, oh, it's just an isekai, but the twist is the main hero is the bad guy. But, like, I realize now that there's so much more to it than that, especially with the flashback that shows how he first met one of his guildmates, Touch Me, who saved him from getting Yeah, his name is Touch Me. Who saved him from getting griefed by a group of human player characters. And when he asked why he did it, he just said, well, because it was the right thing to do. Because you were in trouble and you needed help. It was great. And I loved that. And I'm just like, oh, that's really, really cool. How despite having this Overlord aesthetic, he still wants to help people. And now we know why. Like, I think that's really cool. I liked it. I liked that part. It was great. It was like the shield bit in Garo. It really resonated with me.
Oh, man, no, his introduction scene and here's the thing actually about him having that memory. It's because Sebas was there, and Sebas was created by Touch Me. So Sebas actually is one of the good NPCs of Nazarick, in which he actually sees humans as more than just insects or cattle, unlike some of the others. So it was also, he just had this memory as he saw Sebas and you see Touch Me as, this big paladin guy coming in and saving the day. Why does he touch me?
I don't know, okay?
He's a police officer, for crying out loud.
Because gamers like naming themselves after stupid shit.
It's great whenever Sebas says, Lord, touch me.
Lord, touch me. Especially in that, like, old dignified voice. Like, it's... A little bit of lore that they dropped in. I love how when he goes to talk to the villagers and basically say, I'm not here to hurt you, I'm here to help you, but... and the mask that he's wearing, I love how in his head he says, I guess for them I'll have to build this mask up like it's some important relic, but really I just won it in a holiday event. Just a little bit of world building there that I thought was great.
And unfortunately, he didn't think of that until after he rescued those two girls. So he was like, I'm going to have to mess with their memories.
Yeah.
What I like, too, is that the villagers, when he said, yeah, I'm just here, to help, at first they're apprehensive because no one that powerful will do something for free, not normally. So when he said, there's other stuff I'm looking for, they oh, okay, this is a normal person. All right. Understandable. And, he builds a rapport with the village as he figures out the world. They tell him about the kingdom that he is in. He is closer to this kingdom called the Riestes Kingdom. And then this kingdom is having squabbles with the Baharuth Empire. These names are fun, by the way. Baharuth is fun to say.
Baharuth.
And then there is the Slain Theocracy, which is the religious kingdom.
There always has to be religious extremists in your fantasy world. Always.
Yeah, always. he comes to this village both to help, but also to get some intel. He wants to see how strong are these villagers in comparison to Yggdrasil humans. Not very strong.
His fucking summon is fucking like wrecking these guys without breaking a sweat. His one summon, not him. the undead he just kind of like casually brought here.
They are just as squishy as they are in real life.
Yeah, there's that moment where this one noble's like, "You men, be my meat shields and protect me, I'll give you money." And the Death Knight just is stabbing him repeatedly. and then that one beautiful camera shot as the guy's like, "Oh, stand your ground, let some of our brothers escape." His head gets chopped off and he sees it, his own body, spurt blood.
Brilliant.
Is like, me personally, that is just terrifying to imagine. Just like the whole theory that you're still alive for like a few seconds after you've been decapitated. That's just, it wigs me out. It's like one of those things that you know will never happen to you, but it still wigs you out.
And that's essentially the 3 episodes as it leads up to the next, as he leads up to what happens next with Gazif, with Karn Village. What does he do? I don't know. Does he help them out? Does Gazif just die?
We'll see next time.
Maybe. Anything you guys want to say for overall thoughts with Overlord or about episode 3?
Overlord is hitting all of the right gamer buttons in me. It really feels like the author not only understands how games work, but also how they feel to the players and how gamers act, because fucking stupid ass usernames, they will go all nerdy and like lonely geek when making shit, and like in episode 2 or was episode 1, whatever, they will talk about their super overpowered item for minutes on end.
That's right. I should mention this is also where he stops going by Momonga in episode 3 as the girls he saved. "Can I get your name?" "My name? Yes. Remember it well and spread it to all you know, for I am Ainzul Gone."
Because the name Ainzul Gone is actually apparently a known name in the Yggdrasil community.
It is the name of his guild.
Well, not just the name of his guild, but like a known name to like other people. Like maybe people not of his guild. So he's hoping to entice other people from Yggdrasil to be like, he's using the name from that one guild in the game that I'm also from. Let's see what's going on, to try to like lure them in and like maybe find some other people he's, in the same situation of.
Yeah, because if I recall right, his guild was like one of the top 5 guilds of the game.
Yeah, so he would definitely be a known name.
Yeah. People would definitely know, that's that one monster guild. That's who it is. So he's hoping that will bring attention and maybe one of my friends or other players will come find me. What's really obvious about this is that he's more excited about the Adventurers Guild and about traveling new worlds because he's excited about being like his old days with his old guild of just having good, fun adventures.
Which, honestly, I totally understand.
Well, and then as you find out, the NPCs had a totally different idea of fun.
He's bonding with all his kids.
He has one NPC of his creation, which you don't get to meet till later.
Either way, he's bonding with his kids, including the ones that want to bone him. Are we in Alabama?
Oh, God. All right. With that, let's get to the part of the episode where we're going to decide if we're going to continue watching Overlord to a certain point, or do we want to just end it here and go to the wheel?
Oh, yeah, I totally want to go to the wheel after that cliffhanger.
I mean, it's understandable. You probably don't want to see some great big fight of any kind.
Totally don't. That the promise of more action scenes that look as good as they did, as short as they were in episode 3. No, totally not for me.
Your sarcasm is palpable.
Yeah, I'm down for watching more Overlord.
And it is October, and the main character is a skeleton man.
I do like me some skeletons.
Plus, the first season is only 13 episodes long, as are all the seasons.
9 more seasons, Morty!
And also, this episode's gonna go up in September, so
Yeah. But, October's coming up, so.
yeah, fair enough. Spoop month is almost here.
What do you think, Bowtie?
I went into this thinking that I wasn't going to like it because you know how I am with isekais, and I heard from very bad places about what the show's premise was. Very bad as in they just weren't accurate with the premise, because this is definitely a show that you shouldn't judge on appearances alone, because it is a lot better and a lot more nuanced than I gave it credit for originally. So I would be totally down with watching more episodes.
Woo!
I will say, it's not that they probably got bad information, it's that they focused on the wrong thing. Because I will make a quick mention to you all now. Overlord does get into very morally gray areas.
Yes.
There is, yes, some cruelty, but cruelty, they're never cruel for the reason of being cruel. There is a reason behind it, either for comeuppance or for strategy. So I will say that. They aren't doing this just to be gory.
It's not torture porn.
No, it is not. and you'll find out later. But I guess we're watching more Overlord, guys. So next episode, we'll go down the breakdown of 4, 5, and 6.